Never honest to the others and apostles of great Muslims who will teach well. The honest brothers pushing the truth across the four corners with all sincerity. Another video. It's from USAtoday.com. Map shows which states are monitoring for it was just say H virus cases in the United States. So Babylon the Great. So more than half of the states are monitoring individuals who have either been exposed to or exhibiting symptoms of hantavirus disease at the center of the deadly cruise ship outbreak, which you all know. The American passengers on board the MV Honda ship did not return stateside until after evacuating on May 10th. Before then, some passengers, including U.S. residents, were potentially exposed to the virus from ship passengers who disembarked and were later found to have been infected. Which they found out that stuff out where they use like contact tracing. So they'd be like, okay, this person had it. Well, who did this person have contact with? Okay, that person who had contact with them. Who those people have contact with? Right, and so on and so forth. Right, so they're saying that the incubation period is like 8 days, a couple, maybe more than that. Right, so it could very easily turn to another situation where everything is shut down. The majority of American passengers are now quarantining in Nebraska. They'll be monitored for symptoms. You skip down. Hantavirus, the virus usually submitted to people through contact with rodents, urine, feces, or saliva. The strictest center of the outbreak has been confirmed. This virus was split to spread person to person, according to the World Health Organization. All right, and then just look at some of these states, because at first it didn't really seem like it was that many people, but now it's in all these different states. Right, so Arizona, California, Georgia, 2 residents. We don't have to go super deep into this. Kansas, Nebraska, New Jersey, Texas, Virginia. Can we scroll? Okay, Washington. Which states the American passengers in quarantine from? Okay, so that's where they are right now, but then they go into it that they're from someone from New Hampshire. Yeah, one person is from New York that's quarantining in Nebraska, but they're not saying that anyone's quarantining in New York yet. But there's people in New Jersey, have it. I know all those people that left too. Some of them could be from New York, so it could very well spread over here and spread all over, all the states. All right, so let's get some precepts. All right, so we're just gonna go into it. All right, this is a book of 2nd Esdras 16 and 17. Woe is me, who would deliver me in those days? All right, this is the prophet Ezra speaking. Right, while still in Babylon. Right, and saying woe is me, right, because he knew that he would be reincarnated and be in these times, and he saw visions of the future of our times. He just couldn't, fully word it the way that we can, right? Fully explain it, because he explained it with what he knew back then, like times of seditions, sword against, what was it mentioned? They should never regard the kings or princes, right? We know that now, it's not kings or princes here in Babylon. They have like presidents, in other parts of the world, they have prime ministers, and senators, and governors, and mayors. People are not going to take heed to these people. They're going to, fight the government pretty much, right? But, they, in Ezra's time, they didn't have like the terms, like senators and mayors and governors and things like that. They had other terms, but it was different. Now we know what it's talking about. All right. Everybody talks about the missiles, calls them arrows, right? But we know that's the ICBMs, but they're likened to arrows because like an arrow comes from a bow, a quiver. ICBMs come from the silos deep underground and shoot out. So yeah, the beginning of sorrows and great mournings, the beginning of famine and great death, the beginning of wars, and the power shall stand in fear. The beginning of evils, what shall I do? And these evil shall come. Alright, so yeah, the beginning of sorrows and great mournings, the beginning of famine and great death. Right, I've seen this stuff with the Hormuz crisis going down. Alright, they could very well be used to institute, uh, more hyperinflation, which is going to lead to famines. Right, um, you know, so because a lot of that stuff, right, is blocking like fertilizer. Oh no, it's blocking oil and stuff like that. And the oil is needed for all the farming. Like oil pretty much makes the world go round, right? So that's blocked, and that's the price of that is going up. And, you know what I mean? Everything else is gonna fall apart, right? Till this world's already globalized, under Esau evil. Right? So if the supply chain is fucked up, then it's gonna fuck up everything else, right? And great death, right? Because it won't make the time of great death, time of Jacob's trouble, time like no other. Right? It's gonna be horrible, death everywhere, right? The beginning of wars, the power shall stand in fear. Yeah, man. When we see in the beginning of wars, Russia, Ukraine is still going on. We got the moves still going on. So all kinds of conflict. The power shall stand in fear. All right. Yeah, these elites are not going to control this. All right. Evils. What should I do? These evils shall come. Yeah. Jacob's trouble. All right. But Ezra, he reincarnated, so he doesn't have to worry about what to do when his evils shall come. But he's speaking the spirit, man. This is so horrible. What am I gonna do? Right, but he reincarnated in these times, and he knows what he has to do, right? To achieve salvation on the side, man, you gotta make your call and elect your shirt. You gotta turn to Yahweh Hashem, Yahweh Shai. You gotta repent. You gotta put in work, man. All right, pretty much. You just gotta put in. You gotta put in that work. All right. Of course, you gotta be the Lord's chosen people. The Lord gotta be dealing with you first and foremost. All right. War, famine, and plague, tribulation, anguish, are sent as scourges for a minute. Right? Famine and plague. Right? Talk about the famine and plague, man. So, whether this thing it was a real thing is dangerous, things like that. Like COVID wasn't as dangerous. It was just more like the shots were the shit that really fucked people up. Right? But whatever the case is, it's like, whatever the case is, man. The Lord, the Alpha, Shema Shai, how these things, set up for the elites to, make their moves. Right? He puts in the minds of these elites to do these things, right? To orchestrate these things, right? Because this could very well lead to another shutdown situation, right? And maybe, I remember hearing others apostles about that. Maybe they might make the new shot, the MOTB or something. Maybe they might use this to issue to mandate the MOTB. It's possible. All right, it's possible. They could very well skip making it commercial and just go directly to like, hey, you got this thing going around. You need to take it, or else you're gonna get us all sick. It's possible. Right? They could say the strains mutated, like they kept doing with Windows 19. All mutated again, mutated again. You need to take it now. You need to take that multi-B. It's all kinds of stuff they can do. Right? It says scourges for amendment. Amendment means to make a change. Right? So, these things happen for the people to change, but the people are not going to change, man. All right? So, they just could keep going on in their wickedness. Right? It says in Sirach. Right? As our leaders, so are the people. Right? The leaders, the elites, are extremely wicked, heinous people. Right? Fuck animals. They fuck men. They fucking do all kinds of disgusting witchcraft, right? And what do your Americans do, man? Right? They do the same shit, right? The men, you know, fucking, you know, their alphabets. You know, the woman, their alphabets, right? They're into all manners of witchcraft and spirituality. A lot of these females are into, you know what I mean? They into fucking, you know, all that shit, man. Right? Society is fucked, you know? Like it says in Isaiah 19, right? Perverse spirit has been put in this place. Even the children, they got their children following the alphabet shit. You know, they're supposed to lead their child in the right way. Behold, yeah, with all these things, they shall not turn from the wickedness, nor be always mindful of the scourges. Yeah, so yeah, the people will always, you know, stick to their wickedness, man. Right? So that's why, you know, the missiles come. It's just gonna be raps, right? Which the heathen are not gonna receive salvation anyway, right? And 2/3 aren't gonna receive salvation, right? But you know, folks on 2/3, man, we came out there on the highways and byways. We got to warn you. You need to turn back from your ways. They don't listen, so they're gonna die. That's gonna be the end of that, right? This will be the end of them. They gotta learn to do death by pain. They'll reincarnate in the kingdom, right? So, you know what I mean? We don't gotta really worry about them. You know, like even in the book, I just talks about that, right? Like, don't be worried so much about the wicked, right? You know, our people, right? Don't be so concerned with them. You know, the wicked of our people. Who cares? They're gonna, you know, it's gonna deal with them, right? But worry about salvation of the elect, man. Don't worry about these jakes, man. Right? Doing all manners of, you know, witchcraft and shit. You know, following these false doctrines and all that madness. Right? So let that be that the one edifies the show.